Alrighty. Hey guys, so like she said, I'm Lauren. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, moved up to Orlando to go to UCF up here. But when I was up here, I started working in different bars and such, and I started getting more acquainted with craft beer. I worked at this really cool spot up here called the Coke and Blaster. It's like a geeky craft beer spot. So I picked up some knowledge there. Then I moved back down to Miami. Started bartending some more. And then I started working at the bar she mentioned, 305 Brews. And just like she was in the beer circle, a lot of people in the Miami beer circle would start coming in, and I would get acquainted with everybody, and we talk about the different breweries and the beers going on. It's actually a pretty small family in Miami, which is really nice. We all kind of knew each other and hung out and everything. And so a couple years bartending, beer tending, and then I met with the guys of Tank Brewing while I was down there. And then unfortunately, that cool little bar that she was talking about that I worked at, I was like the manager, one of the assistant managers. So it was running pretty well for 2 years, and then it closed down just because it was a spotty location. Really, we didn't get enough foot traffic. But through that place, I made a lot of connections with the beer community people. So I met the guys from Tank Brewing in Miami, and they called me over. They said, hey, we heard that you're looking for work, that this place closed. You want to come bartend for us? And I said, no, I want to do sales. Just like that. Then they said, okay, we're actually going to launch in Orlando in a few months. We just need to set it up. And I was like, perfect. I lived in Orlando for a couple years, so I'm very familiar with the area. So I just started working in the tap room through there for a little bit, waiting for them to set it up. And then I got launched back up here in Orlando. So that was when I really started to learn how to sell beer, making connections, accounts. I had a little bit of previous knowledge just running the bar. Like I would deal with the distributors and deliveries and all that. So I was a little acquainted with the 3-tier system and all that, which helped, and the different beer styles. And then I worked for them for 2 years up here. So basically, I'll tell you a little bit about them. They're the Tank Brewing. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with them, but I don't think anybody's in Florida. It's their name comes from, of course, a beer tank where they ferment all the different, bacteria, cultures and such to come with a product. Miami's looked at as like a melting pot. So we can almost say that all the different cultures and type of people make the one product of Miami culture. So we kind of had like a double meaning on the word tank. So that was kind of a cool concept to help push forward. And then the beers, one of our top beers is actually a Saison too, La Finca. So the farm in Spanish, farmhouse style. They actually won Best in the World 2018 World Beer Cup with that one. So that was pretty cool. They had that. La Playita was like their German Pilsner that they used German Weisstoffner's yeast in there. So it had that nice, clean German crispiness. And then we had an IPA called El Farito, which is the Little Lighthouse. So that was an interesting kind of like East Coast IPA. It wasn't really in New England, but it was kind of hazy because we wouldn't really filter our beers. And it had like a nice citrus, but a lot of hop forward in the beginning, which is nice. So I pushed those products for 2 years. I got to know a lot more people. The beer community up here in Orlando is also fairly small, so that's kind of nice. And then I got approached by these guys at Persimmon Hollow, which is actually on DeLand, Florida, which is 45 minutes north of me, kind of near Daytona. And they offered me just like their beers are a little bit more approachable and universal, and their distributor partner was a little better. So I started working with them, and I've been building their brand for a couple months now. So that's been going pretty well as well. I'm actually drinking, I think I drank this last time, but whatever. This is a Daytona Dirty Blonde. Since we're in DeLand, we're right by Daytona, and Daytona is the famous racing. So we have like the race car on here. This is it's like 4%. It's just like a nice crushable beer. It's got like some cereal-y notes to it, some honey malt note to it. This is one of our good sellers here. It's just like, I call like our beers like Florida beers, basically at Persimmon Hollow. Like they can be enjoyed all year long. Like our IPA's Beach Hippie, that's our number one. I think they supposed to be nostalgic to when the guys would just hit the beach and crush a couple beer cans all day. So they made like a nice easygoing East Coast IPA. And so, yeah, I've been just like a couple years beer tending and networking. This is a great way to get into that, this whole happy hour. And then just like our small community down in Miami helped me. Actually, Ben, I don't know if you remember Ben from Miami, probably. From MIA. Yeah, so he actually helped me get the job at 305 Brews because he was repping up here in Orlando too. And he's still up here. He just opened up his own little craft beer bar. So that's been going pretty well. So yeah, we're still in touch, just like connections. And I always love learning more about beer. So all that stuff helps in turn. And yeah, it's been a fun 2.5 years selling beer for now. And then it was like over 10 years random bartending and like just a couple years beer tending and like craft beer bars and breweries that led me to here. So that was fun. It's a pretty great gig. Not too bad.